Hey guys, and welcome back to Pre-Algebra. No, I am not a telemarketer calling you. I'm your pre-algebra teacher, at least for the next 2 weeks, right? So today we're going to talk about frequency tables. So we've talked earlier this week and last week on scatter plots and taking a data set and being able to represent that on a graph in the form of a line or in the form of a scatter plot. So now we're going to be able to make a table. So in the past you've learned about bar graphs and dot plots. So there's different ways that you can take that data and put it on a graph or a table. One of those is a frequency table. So the definition of a frequency table, just how it sounds, right? So frequency means about how often, and then obviously making a table with columns and rows. So we're going to take that data, we're going to list items and show the number of those items and how many times they occur. So you can make tally marks or circle and cross out the numbers that are in a data set, and we'll do some examples today. So here's some examples of different data that you could collect, right? We could ask, your class, what is everybody's eye color? And we could tally that up. We could ask everybody their favorite ice cream, and it could be just 3 flavors, or it could be 10 flavors. So the choice is up to you and what type of data you are collecting. Everybody's favorite pet animal. We could do, for runners, how many miles do you run per week? You could do test scores, yours or everybody's. You could do, if you are a store owner, you could tally up how many customers are coming on Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Friday, right? And figure out what's your busiest day. Or you could just do when's your birth month, January to December, and tally up some answers for those. So those are some examples. Keep those in mind because one of your assignments today is to create your own frequency table. All right, so here are some examples. And so forgive me as I try to write on this for my first time. So let's do text so that it doesn't look so bad. We're going to start with number 2. Number 1, in your own words, what is a frequency table? We've talked about it. Hopefully you can easily answer that. A table that you make that you could represent how often something occurs. Okay, so for number 2, make a frequency table from the following data. We have some homework scores from 12 students, so we have 12 numbers. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 4, 4, 1, and 5. So we're going to make a little table here. So I'm going to call this my number column, and then this will be our 1s. This will be our 2s. This will be 3s, and so on. Okay, so now here I'm just going to title this column with a T, and this will be our tally marks. So when you do your practice one, you could always use capital I or just a number 1 to tally it up. Okay, so let's look at our data set here. How many 1s do we have? 2, good. So I'll put my tally marks as the letter I. How many 2s are there? 1. That's it. And how many 3s? Good, I see 2. And 4s. There are 4. And we can move this over to fit it better. And 5s. So now let's say we didn't have any 3s. You could still include 3 as your number, right? So that your frequency table runs smoothly, but you could just put no tally marks there. Okay, so then here we're going to title this our frequency. How frequent, how many times did it occur? Okay, so how many times? That would be 2 here. So now you're just counting up your tally marks. So I know this is a little redundant, and if you did this collecting data, you could actually skip the tally marks and then just write the frequency. How many times did this occur? Okay, and so then when you have this data organized, you can easily answer a question like, which, of these homework scores occurred the most? And that would definitely be 4. The frequency number is the highest. You could also easily take the whole data set and take it back to mean, median, and mode and find out those answers from your data set. Okay, so let's take it to number 4, make a frequency table from the following data. So again, we are going to have our number here. We're going to call this just letter T for tally. And here we're going to say frequency. So when you make yours in this assignment, this is a Google Slides assignment, and so you can easily just type it in. I'll include a text box for you, and I'll already have made the table, but you can easily make your own table if you'd like. Okay, so looking at these numbers, we first need to determine what's the lowest number, right? So it looks like as we look here, 34 is our lowest number. So let's say 34. We have a 35. And there's no 36, but I'm going to include it here and we will still tally that up. 37 and 38. Okay, so how many times again did this occur? Count them up. 34. 34 was just once. And 35 we have twice. Okay. And back to 38 to finish it off, we have just 1. Okay, so frequency over here, we have 1 and 2 35s. And I would still write in 0 here, even though this did not occur. This one is 5, obviously the most frequent, and this one happened once. So another thing that would be good with a frequency table and organizing your data would be to count these and make sure that there were that many in the total set. So 2, 3, 4, so there should be 9 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so that's correct. So that's how you would fill out a frequency table. This should be easy enough. I think a frequency table is much easier than making a bar graph, histogram, or a dot plot. All right, so let's go to the next. Of course, you remember these worksheets. We have find the mistake. All right, so please look over this data set here, and you have the numbers 24 to 28. You have the tally marks here, and then you have the frequency. So I want you to examine this problem and find the mistake, and you will include your answer in the Google Slides that I provide you. So again, looking at these numbers, how many times do they occur? Check that the tally marks and the frequencies match up, and you can easily find that mistake. And lastly, you are going to create your own. So make sure that on this Google slide, you include your name, the title. Obviously, when you submit the Google Slides, it'll already have your name on it, of course. But I want you to title it so that I know what type of data you're collecting. So fill out the frequency table. I've included 2 here, one as a sample if you wanted to do test scores, or you can do anything that you choose. So fill out the outcome or number column, tally column, and then frequency. Okay, so I want you to show at least 10 results in your data set. Okay, so 10 scores, 10 birthdays, 10 whatever you choose to do. If you do not like these graphs or tables that I made for you, then you can make your own. There's an easy way in Google Slides to make a table, and you can choose how many columns, which I recommend 3, and then how many rows. Okay, so next I want you to make sure that you either make up the data or you could collect real data, totally your choice. Call your friends up and find out their I don't know, birthstone, and then you can collect that data, or you can make up your own, right? Make up 10 random, 4 people had blue eyes, 4 people with brown, and collect some data that way. And lastly, please make sure that you tally these up in this column. You can use ones or capital I's, whatever you prefer for those tally marks. Okay, so good luck. Please do well on this. It's pretty simple here for our introduction to frequency tables. Tomorrow you will have a Khan Academy assignment. It should be a video and then the 4 questions, just easy questions on how to fill out a dot plot or how to fill out a frequency table. All right, reach out to me if you need anything. I do have Zoom meetings available at 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Have a good one.